Instead of doing the normal YouTube thing of saving the big fix until the end, this is uber important, so I'm just going to give you the TLDR right now. Always back up your projects. Like, pause the video, go look up how GitHub version control works, and then come back once you've got a repo set up. In case this is your first time here, hi, my name is Tristan, and I'm making a horror game called Reap What You Sew, where you play as the monster. And I'm going to be honest, this isn't at all what I expected the next devlog to be, but hey, game dev is as game dev does. That is, being sometimes things break and you have to change accordingly. In this case, I was reorganizing the folders for Reap What You Sew, and apparently Unreal Engine hates when you try and rename folders or do anything from the file browser, and unlinked all the files in the folder. And it just so happened to be the entire folder for the main player character. And it didn't just unlink the main blueprint file, it unlinked every file that even remotely related to anything in the folder. Animations, they're now missing their skeletal mesh. Materials, they're missing textures, and if I remember correctly, even the material instances need to have their parent materials relinked. And the blueprints completely broke if they had any references to anything in the folder. And I'm sure there's an easy way to fix this, but as of writing, I haven't found the relink broken files button on any individual node. So what I ended up having to do was bring in the missing file as its own node, reconnect everything, and then delete the old one because it won't compile if there are any errors in the graph. I don't have very much footage of this, unfortunately, but I kind of went into panic mode when it happened, and recording footage wasn't really a high priority. Luckily, I set up a private GitHub repo for the game, as a backup and as a form of version control. However, I hadn't really updated the commits for a while, like Jess didn't even have eye controls with the committed version, so even though I didn't completely screw myself over by messing up the files, I still had to rebuild and relink a bit. So not only should you back up your projects, but you should do it daily. That way, you won't end up losing too much progress. Also, I started relinking things before I remembered about the GitHub, so I had to relink a bit more than I would have if I just went with a backup. Now, this is the part of the video where I would show you how to set up GitHub's desktop app for version control. However, I'd just be regurgitating this tutorial I followed. The only difference is I didn't go through Git LFS because I'd much rather have it take a bit longer and not have to worry about max file capacity. But also, more importantly, I cannot for the life of me remember how to set it up. It's 1000% worth it, and you should set one up for peace of mind. However, once you do, I recommend making at least one extra branch. You have your master branch, which is the branch that everything eventually gets pushed to, and you have a secondary branch for temporary changes that you might need to go back on before fully merging into the master. You commit your changes to the work in progress branch, as I have it named here, and then you can merge them into the master if no issues are found. The only problem I haven't solved is efficiently picking out specific files from the repo. Unfortunately, again, I had forgotten to commit the files for a few weeks, so I did need to rebuild some things, which is making me have second thoughts about doing everything I can in Unreal, only in Unreal, like keeping animation done in Blender and just exporting them to Unreal. Doing that would save me some headaches I'm having with Control Rig. For example, look what happens when I try to reset the rotations on Jess's claws. No, I don't know why this happens. If I do animate in Blender, I will have to remake her model from the ground up. I may just do that anyway because there are some things I'm not quite happy with on her current model. Anyway, aside from that little snafu, I got a bunch of stuff done over December. I have a working menu, most of the buttons don't do anything yet, but hey, you can open it. I also have this horrendous temp art for the inventory system. It works though, and it has a working equipment swapper. I'll go way more in depth with this in the next devlog, but I got MGS5 style stances working. It did require me to do some weird stuff with collision detection. The default UE5 controller does not expect you to go prone. I also followed this tutorial by the game dev cave so that Jess would angle based on the slope of the surface she's walking on. I do need to fix this weird jitter glitch that happens on the very edge of the angle, but I'm happy I got it working. Go sub to the game dev cave, by the way, he makes really great tutorials. Jess can also attack now. She can't deal any damage because I have yet to implement collision or anything for her to hit for that matter, but hey, she can swing her arms around. Also, getting her to stop moving when she attacks the right way was a process and a half, but again, I will save that for next time. I'm also toying with using this fake projection shadow for lighting. This not only should save on performance, and my measly 4 GB of VRAM needs all the help it can get, but it's also closer to how real-time shadows were achieved on the GameCube, which is the style I'm trying to emulate here. Specifically, I'm trying to match Twilight Princess's shadows, even though it looks like there are real-time shadows in the game. From what I can tell, they are using projection shadows. I think this is actually the same way Nintendo does shadows in the 3D Mario games, and that is about it. Like I said earlier, the next devlog will be more about the movement system I've built, and a lot of the problems I've come across with Unreal's default character controller. If you want to stay updated with the game, subscribe to this channel and join the Patreon to support the project. You'll be able to see all of my long-form videos a day early, and not just the ones on this channel. You'll get to see behind-the-scenes updates, and you get a special channel in my Discord exclusively for members and Patreons. Other than that, make sure you back up your projects, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!